Box to Box NBA Preview, hosted by Ndegz.
Hi guys, I'm Ndegz. Welcome to my preview. In 24th place is the Chicago Bulls. This is my preview. I'm committed. I'm going all the way to from 30 to 1, even though I know the season has started. At least I have some info on these teams as well, right? So, without further ado, 24th place, the Chicago Bulls. Finished the 22-23 season with a 40-42 record, were 10th in the East. Obviously made the play-in, but they didn't manage to get to the playoffs. They entered the season with hopes that Lonzo Ball would carry them, would take the next step after making the playoffs the previous season and causing a bit of noise. But had a knee injury. At first it was innocuous, then it became a bit serious. Then he was ruled out for the season. Then towards the end of last season, had to have knee surgery again, and now he's ruled out for the entirety of this season. Quite sad for someone who was glue guy for this team, right? Like, he could push the ball, he was had court vision, he could get assists, could shoot the three if he needed to. So yeah, it's a big blow for them. Obviously they just missed the playoffs. They had shaky three-point shooting. Only Zach LaVine was consistent from deep, and in a very weird move they managed to extend Vice President of Basketball Ops Arturas Kanisovas. Yeah, you're normally rewarded for doing amazing things, not for being average. But this is what Mr. Arturas did in the off-season. Roster moves. Acquisitions first. Javon Carter from Milwaukee. Torrey Craig, and obviously they drafted Julian Phillips. Then, in terms of extensions, they extended Nikola Vucevic, 3 years, 60 mil. Yeah. Kobe White, 3 years, 36 mil, and Ayo Dosunmu, 3 years, 21 mil. And they also acquired Andre Drummond. Players they lost were Derrick Jones Jr., who opted out of his player option, and Patrick Beverley. Obviously, they only had one draft pick. Julian Phillips was picked at number 35. Snuck into the draft after not having picks. Yeah, so the Bulls didn't have picks, and they just managed to do some trades here and there on draft day and snuck into the draft. And yeah, they managed to draft an athletic player. I mean, he's more of a development player, but that's what they did in the draft. Players on expiring contracts: DeMar DeRozan, 28.6 million, Patrick Williams, 9.8 million, and Andre Drummond, 3.36 player option. So, with that being said, this is a team that is a candidate for possibly making a trade during the season if things are not going well, which they already aren't. After the first game, they already had a player meeting. Why would you need to have a players only meeting after the first game of the season? That must be a record. But yeah, so this is how they're going to go into the season. This is their rotation. The people who are expected to at least make some noise and make the Arturas look good. Point guard has to be Kobe White, obviously, as we said. Our boy Lonzo is out. Then Zach LaVine at shooting guard, DeMar DeRozan at small forward, Patrick Williams, who I feel like might actually be the best player on this team just because of everything that he does, his versatility, athleticism, and ability to attack the rim. Nikola Vucevic at center. Then coming off the bench, Alex Caruso, Javon Carter, Ayo Dosunmu, Torrey Craig. They still have Andre Drummond, and they have Adama Sanogo, Justin Lewis, Trevi Taylor, and obviously their draft pick in Julian Phillips, who might not actually get that much playing time. Chicago Bulls, my big question for the Bulls is, can they stay afloat until the All-Star game? Because I feel like if they're not afloat, if they're not within that 6, 7, 8 range, and they're languishing around 10th place, 11th, then they might have to make a trade. The thing with the NBA play-in is, you knew once you're in 9th place with a few games to go, you're like, I'm not making the playoffs if I'm in 10th place. But then at 10th place, you can still make the playoffs, right? You can still make the play-in and be like Miami last year and make the playoffs and even make it to the finals. So they're not going to pull the trigger that early. But for me, I want to see how soon or how early are they in the playoff race, right? Like, how early are they eliminated or still in the playoff race, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So that's my big question for the Bulls. What can they do? But with that being said, I'm seeing the coach being fired this year. Oh, sorry, that's my 24-second shot clock. 24-second shot clock is on. I am seeing the coach being fired this year. Billy Donovan. I am not seeing this team they probably make the play-in, but I don't think they'll make the playoffs. In my list, they are currently 12th in the East. They'll probably just get about 35 wins, and that's going to be their ceiling, and this team is going to be broken up. And that is my prediction for the Chicago Bulls for this season. Next up is, in 23rd place, is a team from a team from the East, right? A team from the West. It's a team from the East. It's a team from the West. Tune in to find out who it is.
Ready for the ultimate slam dunk of content? Don't miss out on any of our NBA previews. Hit subscribe and be the MVP of your basketball knowledge game.